Welcome back to Andy Cooks, and today we're talking about salads and seafood. Now, if you're from the Northern Hemisphere, you're probably going, why are you eating salads and seafood at Christmas? Well, that's because in the Southern Hemisphere where we live, it's hot outside. It's summer, it's 30 degrees at Christmas here, and so our Christmas dinner looks quite different to Christmas dinners in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're going to have two salads and a seafood platter to go through today. We'll save the seafood platter to last because they're pretty easy to throw together, but we will make a couple of different dressings to go along with that one. And then we're going to make two salads. We've got a pui lentil and roast beetroot with some feta salad, and then we've got what I call my Christmas coleslaw. So let's get stuck in. But before we do me a huge favor, go hit that like button if you take anything from this video at any point. It helps me out heaps. And subscribe if you're not. All right, mayonnaise. Now, first things first, I am not above shop bought mayonnaise. I use it all the time. It's in my fridge right now, but it's Christmas. We're gonna make some mayonnaise because we're gonna use it in a couple of recipes for the next few dishes. So I got half a cup of grapeseed oil. I'm gonna add a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil to that as well. Then we're gonna add 2 egg yolks, the juice of a lemon, and I'm gonna microplane in half of a clove of garlic. Good pinch of salt, and a good heaped teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Now here's the trick. Immersion blender all the way to the bottom and turn it on. And then we're gonna start slowly drawing it up and effectively you're imitating pouring in the oil slowly. So on. Once you see that it's completely emulsified, angle your immersion blender a bit and that'll add a bit more oil to the emulsify. If your mayonnaise starts getting really thick, just add a little touch of water. And there you have it, delicious homemade mayonnaise that's not split. We'll keep in the fridge for a few days and it's perfect for the recipes we're about to make. So what you're gonna need, bunch of kale, a red onion, a couple of carrots, a bunch of radishes, and a quarter of a head of red cabbage. We're gonna start with the kale. We're gonna strip it off the leaves, and then we're gonna chiffonade it really fine and give it a good wash. All right, so we're gonna wash this at this point, and then we're gonna cut it up really fine. So into a salad spinner, we're gonna rinse it really well. Spin as if your life depends on it. I broke it. All right, so we're gonna chiffonade this. So get an amount in your hands. You're gonna roll it up tight, like you're rolling a cigar or something else, and run your knife through it. Now you want this really fine because we're not gonna cook this kale, and kale is pretty fibrous, so you want it pretty fine. That's what you're looking for. All right, we're gonna get everything else ready for the mandolin. Now you can do this with a knife if you've got a sharp knife and good knife skills, but in a restaurant we would always use a mandolin. And if you don't have one of these, I highly suggest you get one. Anyway, the cabbage is pretty much ready to go through the mandolin, so we'll leave that aside. Simply half this onion and skin it. And we'll put that through the mandolin as well. Carrots we're just gonna peel, then we're just gonna top and tail and cut in half so they're just easier to manage. And radishes. Leave the stems on, gives you something to use, but take the bottoms off and then give them a rinse. All right, we're gonna start with the carrots. So carefully run your carrots through the mandolin and you're gonna end up with sheets like that. They're then gonna run a knife through. Now you can get little grates that go in here and you can kind of save yourself a job. They're kind of annoying to use sometimes. Maybe I'm just making excuses for the fact that I've lost mine, but anyway, use the grate if you want. And there you go. Save these for a snack. So we're going to cut these on an angle like this. Doesn't need to be super thin, but you also, you're going to eat this raw, so you don't want it super thick either. So you're going to end up with these little matchsticks. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but that's what you're after. In the bowl. Radishes, we're going to do basically the same that we did with the carrots. Onions, we're going to go this way. So you end up with lots of very fine strips. So with the onions, just push them together, make sure they all break up and they're nice little pieces. In they go. And finally, the red cabbage. So I'm actually gonna cut this down the center again, trying to keep the core intact on 2 pieces. And do the cabbage last, because they have the tendency to leak a bunch of purple stains onto the mandolin, and then you would kind of stain everything else. And the cabbage goes in. Quick tidy up of the bench. All right, all that's left to do is to dress and season the salad. So we've got the mayonnaise that we made earlier, and we're gonna use about half of it, which is about just over half a cup. Nice season of salt, some pepper. So we're gonna get our plate ready. because I think there's only one way to dress a coleslaw, and that's with clean hands. Now you can put gloves on if you really want, but I think you really need to use your hands. And the trick is to try and not touch the mayonnaise for as long as possible, if that makes sense. So fold the other leaves over, try not to touch the mayonnaise. So try not to make too much of a mess like I have, but we're nice and evenly dressed, and we're going to start piling it up on the plate. Pretty simply, just let it fall on the plate. Don't kind of manipulate it too much. And there you have it, my Christmas kale coleslaw. Super simple to make, absolutely delicious, and keeps super well in the fridge. Now let's get stuck into the roast beetroot and lentils. All right, to cook the puy lentils, or the French style lentils, we're going to take the lentils and put them into a sieve or a colander. You need about a cup. And then we're going to go rinse them underwater. So once they're rinsed, into a pot, 1 bay leaf, you're going to completely cover them in water. You want about at least 2 or 3 times the volume of water in there. Good 3-finger pinch of salt, and then we're going to take them over to the stove and we're going to bring them up to temperature really slowly. Once they're just simmering, we're going to turn the temperature right down and just simmer them for about 20 to 25 minutes. You're going to keep an eye on these, stir them every now and then, but what you don't want to do is just rapidly boil them. So about 25 minutes later, our lentils are cooked. There's still a little bit of liquid there. So we're just going to drain these off, and we'll just leave them in the pot like this, just to drain properly. All right, so roast beetroot. It's pretty simple. Beetroot in a piece of tin foil, decent drizzle of olive oil, season with salt, and wrap it up tightly. So what this does is it creates like an airtight, really close airtight container, so they kind of almost steam in themselves. Do that with the rest of them, and in the oven. So 180 degree oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, or until they're fork tender. All right. So these took about an hour and a half in total. Open the foil up a bit, let some of the steam escape. All right, beetroots are roasted. Now these have been resting for about 35, 40 minutes, kind of cooling off. And now we're gonna peel them, and then we're gonna slice them. So to cut these, we're gonna put a piece of greaseproof paper down, and then we're gonna slice them in half, and then we're just gonna slice into like little wedges, just like that, into a bowl, and ready for when we're plating up. All right, we're gonna make a simple mustard and honey dressing. So in a container or a glass jar or something that you have the lid for, because we're gonna shake it, help it emulsify. Olive oil, Dijon mustard, heaped teaspoon I should say, possibly extra for good luck. Juice of a lemon. And just a little bit, like literally a teaspoon of honey. You don't want too much honey in this one because the beetroots are so sweet. Lid on, shake it. Done. All right, so this is a salad that we dress and make on the plate. Makes it a lot easier. So here I have some mung beans. To that, we're gonna add our lentils. Then we're gonna mix the whole thing in another bowl because that one's too small. There we go, that's better. So we're gonna dress that with our dressing. Pinch of salt, black pepper. We're gonna spread a layer of this out, but not all of it. Then pea shoots, but you could use rocket if you can't buy pea shoots. Any kind of leafy green will work really well. Take our beetroot, and we dress those as well. Salt, pepper. The reason we don't mix the beetroot through the rest of the ingredients is because then it won't stain as much. Lay the beetroot out. Some more of our lentils and mung beans. Pea shoots again. A little bit more dressing. And then a little bit of marinated feta. This is, kind of optional, but I think it adds a really nice extra layer to it. And there it is, my roast beetroot and lentil salad with feta and mung beans. Just super delicious, and the best part about it is you can prep all the other ingredients a couple of days or the day before, and then you're not running around on Christmas Day. One less thing to worry about then. Now let's get stuck into making that seafood platter. All right, so seafood platter. Now, a seafood platter at our place always has oysters, and if you got oysters, in my opinion, you have to have mignonette dressing. So mignonette dressing is really simple. Let's go. 2 shallots, diced finely. To that, really coarse ground black pepper. Red wine vinegar. So you want 75% red wine vinegar, 25% water. Give that a little mixy mix. Let's make the second sauce. All right, Mary Rose. Mayonnaise that we produced earlier. So to the mayonnaise, you want to add about 1/3 of tomato sauce. Yep, just shop bought tomato sauce. I'm not making tomato sauce to make this. Worcestershire sauce, 12 dashes. This also is a dressing you can use to make a really good prawn cocktail. There we have it. Sauce is done, let's assemble. All right, so this is what I picked up from the fishmonger. So we have a dozen Coffin Bay oysters, some tiger blade prawns, a lovely lobster, and then we've got sashimi grade salmon and some sashimi grade tuna. So from here, we just need to put it together. We'll slice our fish, and then we'll arrange everything nicely, and then the lucky crew will get to eat a whole bunch of seafood, because I'm not gonna eat it all by myself. So we've got some ice here. Load your tray up. Then we'll start with the biggest stuff. Spread the tail out, flatten it, put your knife straight in and down. On she goes. Now you can clean out all this stuff in the center, but a real seafood lover will eat that. But do pull out this piece here. We're just gonna pull that out. Then we're gonna arrange our prawns. Then we're gonna get another tray and we'll put our sashimi and our oysters on it. Sashimi, so you want a thin, long blade. You kind of want to do it in one swoop. So down once, and if you need to go again, you can go again. And the same with the tuna. A little bit of soy sauce in the center. Cut a bunch of lemons. And our sauces, our mignonette and our Mary Rose. And for me, life doesn't get much better than that on Christmas Day. Now you can use any variation of this. You know, leave the sashimi out, leave the lobster out, put in some scallops, whatever you think is gonna work really well. Super fresh, absolutely delicious, and super easy to pull together. So if you get nominated to do the platter this year, take up the challenge and try and do something creative. And there we have it, guys, my ultimate Southern Hemisphere Christmas. We've got an incredible seafood platter, we've got a beetroot and lentil salad, and my Christmas kale coleslaw. Thank you very much for watching, legends. This is the last episode before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and we do actually have a really cool episode coming up on Boxing Day. Peace.